Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than the guided workouts and very positive yoga flows I post on here. It's still within the space of health and wellness, but maybe touching on a topic that is a little bit less glamorous or less positive. But I think it would be beneficial to put it into a video as maybe someone else can relate to it, or maybe even find it inspiring. So for a little bit of context, I generally consider myself a very positive person, a glass half full kind of gal, if you will. And I am the kind of person who prefers to talk about difficult things or failures once I've already worked through them, when I can take something away and have it as a completed event. However, I realize that it can be helpful or potentially beneficial to show the process of working through something, as we all go through difficult times, and I think actually it's in the difficult times that we learn a lot more about ourselves than when we are at our peak. So in that vein, the meat of today's video is going to be about what to do when you're feeling tired or burnt out, or just, how I cope with those things and how I view it. And this is not at all to say that I have the answers, because I absolutely do not. I'm still actually working through this. But as I said, I wanted to show my process. Also to just give a little bit of balance here on the channel, as I do showcase a lot of the positive side, because as I said, that is my natural disposition. But there has to be balance. There has to be darkness for there to be light. I think we can also find benefit in the times when we are stressed and when something is difficult. I think we can also appreciate those times. So just a little bit of backstory. This week has been a lot. Nothing particularly crazy happened. It's just that I have been working a lot, teaching a lot, and I feel the need to give a disclaimer that I love what I do so much. However, as it's a physical job, I get tired a lot of the time, and it's physically demanding. And as I also have YouTube and other side things, it can get to be a lot. And so I think that this actually resonates with a lot of people, that many people have two things going on at once, whether it's a full-time job and they're also going to school at night, or a job and they have a family. So there are things that we're constantly juggling. What occurred to me last night was, say you have this common vein of, let's say it's your job, and you have that constant, and you are used to the output of that, and you figure that out in a way that the plate is spinning. It still takes work, and you still have to show up every day, but you've gotten familiar with that kind of work output. However, if you're also juggling a second thing, be it a side hobby or a family or school, that could be more variable, and there could be seasons where it demands a higher output from you. And I think what I have been telling myself this week is that it's normal to have those fluctuations, and for the pressure to be higher in one area than the other. That's the same as, in nature, we have seasons. And that if the pressure becomes too much in one area, you need to evaluate and take a step back and maybe just ease up in one area. And that's totally fine. If anything, it's the healthiest thing to do. And if that means taking a sick day, or canceling a class, or just unplugging and being offline for a few hours, do what you have to do, because you only have one of you. You only have one body, and it's impossible to continue to show up for other people or to do your work if you're pulling from a place of empty. And I know that there may be temptation there to push when you don't feel like it. That's what I was feeling this week. As I said, I love what I do and it does fill me with energy, but that doesn't mean that every day that I show up, I necessarily want to teach. Afterwards, I have to say that 99% of the time I feel good, and I'm glad that I showed up for the students and they gave me energy. So thank you to them for that, because that's a huge gift. And I think also a large part of success, or in building something great, is the consistency aspect. It's showing up even when you're tired, or even when you don't feel like you can push a little bit more, and finding new levels within yourself of strength and grit. However, there is a limit to everything. And as I said, with nature, we have seasons. There also should be seasons within your work. So I'm telling this to the camera, but I'm also trying to internalize it, because as I said in the intro, this is something that I'm still currently working through, as this happened just this week, that it's not reasonable or healthy to expect your output to be the same all year round, all the time. That there are going to be periods where you need to push to maybe meet a deadline or to release that project that you've been working so hard on. But then equally important is the time after, when you take a step back and you appreciate your hard work and just how far you've come. Because that's the other thing, is that in the day-to-day grind of all of this, be it work, school, family life, just daily obligations as a human, it's very easy to get bogged down in the minutia and the responsibility and to lose your scope and appreciation for the greater things, be it your health or those relationships that you cherish, or even just how far you've come from those daily things, that it's so easy to focus on everything left that you want to achieve, which I think is wonderful. I think it's really important to have goals and aspirations and to dream big. But equally so, I think it's also important to give yourself a pat on the back for how far you've come, because you want to be pushing for something, but also realize that it's not a given, and you need to be kind with yourself and give yourself a pat on the back and appreciate all of the hard work that got you to where you are. Because also in this way, I think it's the reflecting on what got you to where you are and the constant tweaking of your behavior that will continue to allow you to progress and work smarter, not necessarily harder, down the line. That if you are just a bulldozer for hard work in one direction, then you lose the perspective of taking a step back and saying, okay, but in which direction am I going? I'm happy to work hard, but is it for the right reason? Is it in the direction that I want to go to achieve the thing that I actually want to achieve? So it's this kind of zoom in, zoom out that I think is essential for all of us as you're chasing those big dreams, to say, to work hard for a period and then take a step back and say, okay, is my current strategy still working? Is there one part that's draining me particularly? Or even do I still enjoy the work that I'm doing? And all of these questions, I think, will keep us on the right track. Again, this is just my take as I'm saying it out loud. It's still working. I'm still working through all of it. But that seems like, right now, that seems like a smart, reasonable track forward, that if you continue to assess and be self-aware in that way, then hopefully you can find a path that is all of those three things. That's enjoyable, that's in the pursuit of something that you really want, and that the process doesn't drain you, that you can look back maybe once you've achieved that thing or once you get closer to it and say, I didn't sacrifice my health or my relationships to get to where I am, because without, at the risk of sounding trite or whatever, cliche, we're not guaranteed anything, even tomorrow. So to wrap this all up on a positive note, as I said, I'm positive. I'm a positive person by nature. I think it's important to work hard and to push your limits so that you know how strong you really are, but equally so to appreciate yourself and how far you've come and all of the little pieces that make up your unique puzzle. To appreciate your health when you have it, to appreciate your loved ones and tell them often, and to appreciate even the opportunity to work and to be able to pursue something that you believe in and that is great, because that's a gift in and of itself. So yes, with that, I wish you all a beautiful rest of your day. I hope that you find some time to appreciate the not so little things. And thank you for being here. And if you have any questions or anything that you would like to share, any story of your own, I would love to hear it in the comments down below, and it could help someone else out who stumbles across this video. And I will see you all back here in my next video very soon. Ciao, everybody.